Okay, so hello everyone. As you can see, the topic today is about building social equality through linguistic landscape. And actually, this has been done. The inspiration to do this was a forum discussion we had on my master's degree. I'm studying language education for refugees and migrants at the moment. And it is a great source of knowledge and a great source of inspiration. So this talk is part of this knowledge and this inspiration I took. And I decided to talk about it because I believe that it is very important to talk about the social equality in our classes, especially now that we have to deal with multilingual and multicultural classes. So let's begin with some background and some theory. So we talk about linguistic diversity, but what is linguistic diversity? Is it always something obvious? Is it something that we have to take it for granted? Or linguistic diversity remains obscure? So how linguistic diversity is attributed to some speakers, and what are the consequences of this attribution? What is the consequences as far as the role of those speakers in society and for their social position? So linguistic diversity may lead to linguistic justice or injustice. So we actually say that language means communication, but what are the levels of inclusion or exclusion? What do we believe is not what it seems sometimes? So this theory is based on an author which is called Piller. And so Piller says that language sociologists explain that this relative invisibility of linguistic diversity by saying that linguistically diverse society are often characterized by monolingual habitus or monolingual mindset. So this term describes this mismatch between the fact of widespread multilingualism in countries like, for example, Australia, and the idealized representation of Australia, for example, as a monolingual English-speaking nation. So you can see that there is here there is a contradiction. So it is something about global language hierarchy, or we talk about local language hierarchies. So there is a global lingua franca that is mainly can be understood by everyone, or we talk about national etiquette. So if we take a look around, if we actually ask our students to take a look around, we can see signs like that. These are taken from London, and we can see, so if you just take 1 or 2 seconds to take a look at them and try to figure out if there is something that is related to our culture or not. So how this monolingual mindset is presented? Do public discourses work in a way to serve this subordination of linguistic diversity? First, by obscuring it, and second, by problematizing it. So we talk about linguistic subordination here. So is this case that linguistic diversity turns into linguistic injustice through signs and through meaning of these signs? Okay. So take a look at this. So we can see a sign that is taken from, this is from the map of urban linguistic landscape, a great Facebook page. that actually I can take a lot of inspiration from. And so we can see this that is taken from in Brazil. And so we can see Portuguese, the first language, and English, the second language. And so what Pillar claims here is that, so what is multilingual? What a sign can be is considered to be multilingual. It's not, it doesn't have to be inclusive. So sometimes monolingual signs are considered to be more inclusive than multilingual ones. So which language goes first and which language goes next? All right, so here you can see that we have a sign, and you can see the hierarchy of the languages that are used on the sign on the left-hand side. So we have English, I think it is Romanian and Greek, or Belgium and Greek. And you can see that you can see that there are two doors with two signs, signs that show who can use this toilet. So the aim of this forum discussion was to redesigning public toilets for an inclusive society. What we can do is actually to bring this kind of topic to our students through something that they experience, they see in their everyday lives, to ask them to tell about personal stories of either using public toilets or visiting restaurants, toilets in restaurants, or in probably airports. And so how they experience that, what kind of how they felt by visiting a toilet that is not very clean, maybe. Maybe we can actually ask them to take a picture and bring it to class and tell them what can be done in order to create a diverse society. So is there a choice? Can we do that by actually just putting a sign like this to include people from different ages, different genders? So is this a gender equality? Does this create a social equality and a social inclusion? Or it is a part of discrimination, or it is a part of stereotype, like, for example, showing that a woman has to be in a beautiful dress or has to wear a dress anyway. All right, so maybe it was never a dress, or maybe it was something like a superwoman or a superhero or a superheroine. But what is the most important here is that students should realize that in order to feel part of society and in order to make ourselves become more inclusive, so it is not about stereotypes, it is not about just signs, it is more than that. It is something that it can be all gender. So everyone has access, everyone is welcoming. So the point is that when you gotta go, you gotta go. That's definitely a sign that shows that you and everyone else has the same needs, and it is very essential to realize that. But anyway, when you visit this private place, the best thing and the most important of all is to feel like a star. Thank you very much.